How did you feel playing a game that I would assume you're more familiar than most, if not all of the opponents that you're playing against, but also there's this mix of no one really knows what's going on, and also that interacting with you probably being less experienced, just playing like on a stream final table with a bunch of bright lights. I'm just curious what your kind of state was and how you felt in the moment with all that.
I understood that I should be focused and disciplined and continue this, and then the other players will make mistake for sure. Because as what you told, like nobody gives a shit what is happening. Like what is they have like a very basic common strategy, and they just trying to play with it, but like no one understand what to do in any spots. Yeah, so just play and focus what the others will do, and if they do mistakes.
I love the chaos. I love when nobody knows what they're doing. That's my favorite. Welcome to another installment of Thin Value. We have a man who has had a lot more success on Triton than the two of us. We got crushed in Jeju, and 1 for 1 in terms of winning events. We have
Artem Kobylynskyi.
I could have said it, but I wanted to let you show up. So you won the 30K short deck. You were at that final table too, right, Dan?
I was. I finished third actually.
Oh,
but I kind of just sat around and did nothing.
Okay, fair. So I brought Dan along here because I know dick about short deck, and I need some help so I don't make a complete ass of myself here with, I'm going to say, the American Artem. You play a lot of high stakes cash, and this was a live streamed or slightly delayed final table. Was there any adjustment in terms of executing, knowing that your cards are up and you're playing on a live stream?
Yes, of course, because there was chip leader Mike Watson, and what I know about him is that he is pretty like tight aggressive guy. So he's not like playing like Tan Juan, or he's not like very loose and aggressive. But he had big stack, and for sure he will make some adjustments. And the question was how big adjustments will be from his side. So it was I was after the final table started, and there was 2 hours. I don't remember till the first break, and I was waiting till when the break will start. So I know some showdowns because I wanted to understand which way he will try to push it. But and also it was interesting because I was waiting for the showdowns, and they open on a few hands, and so I just where I played tight. But I know that there will be other hands coming. But I was waiting like the end of the break to see if this hand will be in the translation. So if he will see that I am playing tight or not tight. So I saw that he saw that there were other hands where I played some more aggressive. So I said, okay, good. I have still some creative image from his side. So I will respect his aggression. But of course, I understood that I need to adjust as well. So yeah, it's very interesting when you see and the timing of these showdowns. Yeah.
So ICM, is a pretty dominant concept in modern poker. And I think a lot of the Hold'em players are studying a lot of the same stuff, and they may have slight differences in opinion about future game, but by and large, you're seeing really similar strategies implemented. Is that the case in short deck, or is there a lot of difference in opinion?
The good thing about about this tournament is that there was spot limit pre-flop, so that in this case bigger stacks could not just dominate shorter stacks with just pre-flop all-ins, because you can just jam any AX hand or maybe a lot of Broadway hands, and the small stack should play very tight, even very neat. So I was very happy when I realized that they changed the rule, because the previous tournaments were no limit pre-flop and post-flop, so that you will have some post flop. It's very nice. The second thing that of course, like in this case there was like not much not much influence of of ICM where you are supposed to lose your stack. But of course, there is influence like on the pre-flop already because, for example, there were several situations when Watson raised like 3 or 4 antes, and I had some playable hands like Queen 9 suited, and like also like a big stack but smaller stack than him and in position. But I tried. I didn't know where is the range, where is the difference, because there are like only one solver which is like well known for short deck for ICM, but I didn't make a lot of calculations there. And of course, like there should be a lot of different things. There was short stacks, also there was like first stack. There was a player who played very neat like loon. So I understand that like I can play still tied, but it will be like Watson will crush with his aggression, with his just small ball aggression. He just raised 3 ante per ante, loon folds, but I need to go. I need to play the first of hands. But where is this difference? Should I call Queen 9 suited or should I call only Queen 10 suited? So I didn't know, and I don't think that any person in the world knew that. But of course, you should. You should. All my knowledge of ICM was from Hold'em, from before when I played tournaments in Hold'em. So I tried to implement it like in short deck. So just to understand. Of course, when you see also how players play, if Watson will dominate you with bet a lead on the river or bet a lead on the turn, or he will play like small ball like 35, 33, 50%. So also it influences the realization of your equity. So it like you feel in the moment like what you should do, but not like deep concepts in deeper concepts.
Yep.
Yeah, one of the interesting things for me about the final table was that it did feel like everyone's kind of thrown into this thing where no one really knows anything about what's going on. I can take credit for making the event's pot limit. I kind of had this idea and I suggested it so that there's not a lot of the all-in silliness. But then arriving at the post-registration period, yeah, we're in this situation where no one knows what's happening. So I'm curious, like comfort level, how did you feel playing a game that I would assume you're more familiar than most, if not all of the opponents that you're playing against, but also there's this mix of no one really knows what's going on, and also that interacting with you probably being less experienced, just playing like on a stream final table with a bunch of bright lights. I'm just curious what your kind of state was and how you felt in the moment with all that.
I understood that I need some like I should not I need to be flexible to try to find this advantage, because I cannot do only in one thing, like go and with bet flop, bet turn, jam river. Okay, it will be like plus CD spot, but I need to like try to play small ball poker. So like to have small advantage in like different hands, so not to be risky in one hand. And that's why I think I made mistake when I went all in with King 9. You maybe remember, Daniel, when Lulu had straight, it was ace 10 9 and king on the turn to flush.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
I remember.
I felt pretty confident. I became, I think, chip leader, and I played with several good hands versus Watson. I made good fold, made good value, was lucky with when I hit flush, and then like I just continue do the same thing, like continue do like small ball aggression, so all good. But then I decided first of all to isolate the pretty tight player, like not very necessary, and I decided to jam the cook civet flop and jam the turn. So like I put like all eggs in one spot. Like it was like half of my eggs, like all my one.
Gotta freeze some of your eggs, really.
Yeah, just watching you play the pots versus Mike, yeah, there was a lot of multiple bets / raises on a lot of streets, which was, I mean, I was just sitting there with a short stack, so it was fun to watch it unfold. But yeah, I totally see what you mean about just pursuing those small edges, leaving more nodes, basically, right?
Yes. And I understand that if I continue to play disciplined, so and that's a small, like small ball aggression. I don't know how to say it different. That other players in some moment they will not be as same discipline, so they will make some mistakes, so they will make bigger mistakes, so they will just burn because like they had 60 antes, 45 antes, 30 antes, 20 antes, so they will just or will they make some big mistake, or will just they just sit till 20 antes and they will be forced to go all in. So like I understood that like I should be focused and disciplined and continue this, and then like the other players will make mistake for sure. Because yeah, as what you told, like nobody gives a shit what is happening. Like what is they have like a very basic common strategy, and they just trying to play with it, but like not understand what to do in any sports. Yeah, so just play and focus what others will do, and if they do
I
mistakes.
love the chaos. I love when nobody knows what they're doing. That's my favorite. So, as someone who is only a Hold'em player, I don't know much about the skill set that makes somebody a particularly good short deck player. Can you kind of compare and contrast the differences in terms of what skill sets tend to be especially important for becoming an elite short deck player?
First of all, you need to remember that the Jack 10 versus Ace Kings is a coin flip. It's a basic the best rule of the and for example, like Jack 10 suited versus aces, it's like 38% versus 62. So it's like pretty pretty close. So
Wait, quiz time for John. Jacks versus Jack 10 suited. How much equity just Jack 10 suited have?
Well, if he said Jack 10 suited had 38% against aces, then it's got to be lower against jacks. So I guess we're down to like 32%.
You should play short deck, John.
yeah, it's very close. It's like maybe like 30, but it's
Yeah, yeah. You are a natural short deck player,
You
John.
know, I love my math. That's why I got into poker. Fucking love math.
Tournament Savagery is 25 hours of structured tournament strategy by Nick Petrangelo and Daniel Dvoress. This course covers pre-bubble, bubble, in the money, and the final table broken down like never before. We also cover post-flop ICM, blind versus blind, and much more. Buy now for $9.99 only at gtolab.com.
the main adjustment from Hold'em to short deck when I started playing that of course it's the equity are pretty close. The second is like you have to go all in on the if you have SPR like 5, 4, 6 even on the flop, you still have some bunch of hands that want to go all in, just gigantic hands.
That's pretty sick.
It's like maybe it's similar to Hold'em, maybe Queen 10-7, 3-bet pot, like flush draw, no flush draw, maybe something like that. That's actually over. So there are like pretty a lot of
How's Adamo not a short deck player?
He would love it. Yeah.
Yeah, and also there are a lot of multipots. And of course, like in the multipots, the main thing is like to put pressure and to cap the opponents. So what I saw when I started learning short decks that many people use big sizings. Maybe it was like Hold'em like 2008. Like everybody make like CBB pre-flop raise, C-bet 75% of the pot, like 2 big sizes. So it's same in multipots in short decks. So people use like from half pot to the even pot size, but in solver actually uses like small bets, like 25, 30, 33%, maybe even less according to the structure. So like it lower your sizes even not by 1 step, even by 2 steps lower.
I wonder if that's a cognitive bias. I'm a relative amateur at PLO, but I was in a soft game that kind of turned into PLO for a year, and everybody sucked, including me. But the sizes were way too large, especially in multi-way pots. And I think the cognitive bias that I'm thinking about is when you don't know what you're doing, you want to secure the pot. People are too concerned with winning the pot, especially if they think they currently have the best hand. It's almost like a crime to not win the pot. And I wonder if that's just like always the first iteration with games where people are just like, if you think this should be yours, you should get it.
Yes, for sure. When you're not confident in your game, you want to protect the hand, the pot as much as possible. So yeah, in this case, you use like two big sizes. And what I feel also about this final table and about the tournaments in short deck is that they could have pretty good future. I mean, okay, short deck is now it's like it decreases its popularity, but tournament MTT in short deck they could be very interesting because like hold'em MTTs they became pretty standardized. Like for example, you raise from cutoff, BB calls, check, c-bet 25 call, check, hero call ups his bet, like not like it's like a lot of heads up pods, not many multi pods, and like there I feel that there is nothing really interesting inside the game. I mean hold'em, but if there could be interesting like around the game, like 1 million buy-in, like professional goals with fish, like something something different, but not inside the game. I feel that we are pretty. It's pretty boring. Like what I feel, and in this case, short deck it could be really flash button tournaments because the structure is great about pot limit pre-flop, so you cannot. There is no like ICM domination from big stacks. There are a lot of multi-pots, so you play like VPIP 50. Maybe 40, maybe even more, but you have a lot of play, and there are always 3, 4 multi-pods, so it's pretty interesting. And maybe it could be also interesting for people to watch. Like, of course, it would be like, well, not like football, but still, it could be better. Yes, so I feel that short deck, of course, short deck is not much calculated, but still a bit calculated. But what I feel that it's like more action. It's like different, like new game, and it's still like 2 cards. Still very close.
Yeah.
So I hope that this game will be more involved in this game. And for example, WSOP will have again the short deck tournament.
Nice. I want a carnival game. I think Dan's heard my pitch, but I want a version of Hold'em with about 50 different rules that are very difficult to solve for. Like I always borrow from this concept Bonomo told me once of like show 3 cards from the muck every hand. Just some information that kind of messes with ranges. But I think you could come up with like dozens of those, and then it's just kind of like almost like dealer's choice where there's just an orbit of this that gets pulled out of a hat. I mean, people aren't going to do it. People don't like to make fools of themselves, and everyone's going to play some just god awful hands. But I think it's so much more interesting to try to figure things out and to feel super engaged at the table all the time. Yeah, but and
this is what Squid make a stand-up game or Squid game made with Hold'em. Like you have another dynamic, you have another effective stacks, you have like no limit Squid or limit Squid or like N+3 Squid. So it helps the pretty calculated and a bit boring game, but to make something new, to make like fresh blood from this. So yeah, that's what I hope that we'll do short deck in tournaments.
True. Yeah. I like, so the thing about like Squid Game and Stand Up Game is they all push in the direction of more action. And I would like some that not create like an ICM like dynamic, but I don't like everything. Like those are great for cash games where you're promoting a degeneracy and you're trying to get people to just kind of forget about strategy. But I do like the idea of people, like not to say there's not high level strategy, but it's like it's pumping up variance and pumping up stakes, and in some ways kind of like tricking people into thinking they're playing smaller games than they are. And, which is great for the private cash game runners, but I think is not as sustainable in, tournament model.
Yes, for sure.
Anyway, aside from my rant against action, yes, I'm a anti-gambling poker player, but, Dan, you had a question. We're going to go back to kind of the beginning of short deck. You want to ask the thing we talked about?
Yeah, actually, I have a couple of tangent questions as well. But yes, starting off with, did you get into short deck sort of at its origins? Like when people started playing, you were kind of specializing immediately, or is it more recent?
I remember that it was app named Poker King.
Yeah.
It was from Hold'em action, with straddle like 100, 200, 400, I think. And it was like in several months when I won, I made a deal in final table Ep.4 main event. So I had some bankroll to play some deep stacks and tried to play there. And I saw there was big short deck. There was a lot of tables, like I think 1K $1 ante short deck. Like there was 4 max, and there was like 5, 6, 8 play tables. And I saw like a king 10-9. I saw 50-50, and was like shocked. What the hell? What's the
brain.
Yes, but like yeah, so I saw that there are some money in this game, but I wasn't involved there. But like in 1 year, my friends they started to learn short deck, and short deck became like a bit small steps, but it became more popular. So they started to learn it, and then they told me like we are continuing, we're starting like actually like 2 months ago. So maybe you would like to join us. And at that time, like I didn't like to play tournaments already, hold them because. I was tired because I played like for 10 years tournaments. I wanted maybe something new, something fresh. And I was tired about cash game as well because there was like no normal cash game anyway, like online. So like I started with small stuff. I started like with NL25 just to understand the logic, like to play like what's going on to understand. But pretty fast, I think I played already NL1K.
So it's interesting that often there's kind of like pockets or groups that I guess work together to excel at particular formats. And I remember a few Tritons ago, whenever the last short deck was, there were 2 or 3 other Ukrainian guys. I'm assuming that you're kind of part of the same circle, work together, or unrelated.
I think there should be only the players that I know. Yeah, so
Okay.
we were in circle like in the beginning, but then like in 2 years, like in some time, like maybe 1-2 years, like especially when the war started and also before the war, like we not like everybody went by their own ways. I can tell this. Like we still have some like we still speak with each other. We have good attitude with each other, but like we stopped like working in the group together. I can say like this. But yeah, of course, it's like so it is like one community.
And then a little bit of a tangent, but in terms of the future of short deck, hopefully it coming back in tournament form, do you feel like there's sort of like a barrier for new players to enter where they kind of feel like everyone else has played for years and they are just like too afraid to start playing a new format? And like, what can we do in order to address that if that's an issue?
And from the personal level, if you are a player with no short deck experience, how do you if you want to take the light speed path to playing in the next 30K Triton short deck, what should you do between now and then?
First of all, of course, it's preflop ranges. So there are plenty of sites who propose you preflop ranges. They are pretty like similar, so and they're pretty basic. So of course, to know preflop, like very good preflop, because of course, like there are like even if you have 80 antes or 100 antes and you have like 3 games before you to go all in for the whole stack with ace-9 suited, it seems a bit different from hold'em. So like there is also like same balance as hold'em, but it's like from ace-kings off-suited, ace-9 suited, so maybe some pocket pair, maybe some, so you just like make the balance of your range, but it's a bit different but there is just gems, so you need to have a balanced range of the gem with the hands which want to do this. So first of all, the second is, of course, it's solver. It's always solver. So just to solve some pods, at least heads up pods, there's like good, I don't know, should I say it or not, there's like good heads up solver, which solves short decks. So of course, like just to understand the logic of the bets and of the gems. So and also the equilibrator. Not it's like it's same as there is same program as Flopzilla, but for short deck.
Mhm.
So just to see the range your hand versus range equity and your range versus range equity. So just to understand which runouts which allows make you are good for you or good for the opponent. So it's like pretty close to hold'em when you start to learn hold'em. But also what I thought about short deck, that I think the level to try it is like it's pretty it's smaller than Omaha, than Plo games. What I feel, because Plo games you need to always there's like not many four card Plo games. There are five cards games and 6 card games, and also in Omaha you need to understand that that you need to play 2 cards to have the straight or to have the flush. So I feel that short deck in this case it's really have less barrier to start even playing poker game, because as what I feel is why it invented in China is because for the people who are not common with poker to be common with poker, but in easier ways than Hold'em. So for me, what I feel that short deck it's even easier than Hold'em, and of course it's easier than Omaha. So just to just to try it, I mean, just something like that. So
Yeah, I'm all for more short deck tournaments.
Well, thank you very much for enlightening me on short deck. I feel I've gone from 99% ignorance to about 85% ignorance. So I'm on my way. I don't think I'm going to be in the next Triton short deck events, but maybe one day. Dan?
Artem Kobylynskyi, спасибо.
thank you guys.
you.
It was very fun and interesting to speak with you.
All right, thank you.
Sure.